Oh! Big crash at the front of this peloton, and a number of riders have hit the deck.
Hello and welcome to the 5th edition of the Women's Paris-Roubaix. The famous Flanders Classic is known as the Hell of the North for good reason. The 137 riders heading out from Dinant to Roubaix's celebrated velodrome are about to find out why. Among those poised to tackle the feared cobbled sections of the race is the world champion and last year's winner Lotte Kopecky. The Belgian certainly in form after last week's win on the Tour of Flanders.
It's really special. I think it's not done before much time, so I really look forward to ride again Paris-Roubaix in this nice jersey, and yeah, I think shape-wise it's going better week by week, so yeah, I'm really happy with that, and I mean, I hope last week was only the beginning, and I hope I can continue like this in the next weeks.
The Visma Lisa bike team is likely to provide the main challenges in the shape of Marianne Vos and Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. The latter's returned to road racing after a 7-year absence, having picked up a clutch of global mountain bike titles, but she wasn't expecting much from her day. I've been a bit ill these last few days, so I don't feel 100% today. I've decided to start to try and help Marianne and try to make the race a bit tougher to weed out some of the sprinters, so that Marianne has the best possible conditions in which to sprint at the finish. We'll see how it goes on the cobbles. It's an unpredictable race, so I hope we'll come through it well. Lizzie Deignan is making a return too. The very first winner of the women's race in 2021, the British rider's back in the saddle after missing the last 3 editions due to maternity and injury.
Really excited, yeah, and nervous, of course. I think it would be strange if you weren't nervous for this race. For sure, I'm a worker. We have 2 workers in the team, and then we have 4 protected riders who we just hope make it as close to the final as they all can.
This year's route is the same as it was last year, with just over 29 kilometres of non-tarmac sections. That means the peloton facing up to the unique challenge of the infamous cobble sections at Mont-en-Pévèle and the Carrefour de l'Arbre. But there's no Arenberg Trench for the women's race as they head to the Roubaix velodrome, which has seen sprint finishes in the last 2 years. Early on, 2 riders looked to avoid that. Dutch woman Quinty Ton of Liv Alula Jaiko and Aurel Nerlo of Windspace Orange Seal setting a high early pace. They built almost a 3-minute lead on the peloton before getting to the first cobble section with just over 80 kilometres to go. As always, that meant things started to get shaken up. Ellen van Dijk was the first to make a move among the peloton's big hitters. The Little Trek rider reached the 3rd cobble section with a lead over Vos and Kopecky, whose teams were working hard to keep them in touch. Van Dijk continued to power on and soon caught the early breakaway duo, but the peloton too was accelerating and were only some 20 seconds off the lead with around 60 kilometres left. It wouldn't be a Paris-Roubaix without some of the riders hitting the deck. Ferrand-Prévot was one of them as she headed into the cobbled section near Auches-les-Orchies. The Frenchwoman was able to pick herself up and continue, but her unfortunate tumble provided Kopecky with a cue to go on the attack. Accompanied by SD Works Pro Time teammate and European champion Lorena Wiebes, Kopecky closed on Van Dijk. Vos too was hanging in there to keep her victory hopes intact. Soon 2 distinct groups formed. There were 6 in the lead group, including Kopecky, Wiebes and Vos, but also Alison Jackson, the Paris-Roubaix winner in 2023, Chloe Dijkert and Movistar's Jelena Eric. Just behind was a group of 12, including Ferrand-Prévot and Van Dijk, with the cobble section at Templeuve fast approaching. After safely exiting the sector, Emma Norsgaard launched her bid for victory with just over 30 kilometres to go. The Little Trek rider has pedigree. She was 6th in 2021 and won a stage on the 2023 Tour de France. She built a lead of over 30 seconds, but the chasing pack ate into that on Sector 7 before Ferrand-Prévot then stepped up a gear or 3. The Olympic cross-country mountain bike champion's blistering burst saw her catch Norsgaard 23 kilometres from the line. Just a few kilometres later, Ferrand-Prévot then dropped Norsgaard as she upped the tempo again. With the chasing group struggling to coordinate their pursuit, Ferrand-Prévot built on her lead as she approached the famous Carrefour de l'Arbre, the tree crossroads. She stretched her lead to a minute, with Norsgaard still clear of a group that seemed to have already given up the chase. Ferrand-Prévot maintained her advantage through the last 3 cobble sections, and as she rattled along to keep the race's average speed above the 40km/h mark, it soon became clear that everyone else was battling for the places behind the 2014 Road Race World Champion. She headed to the velodrome with a comfortable lead, as those behind her battled for the podium places. Kopecky was a spent force as she dropped out of the reckoning, as Laetitia Borghese and Wiebes emerged from the chasing pack. Ferrand-Prévot, however, was able to savour the moment.
She starts to celebrate now. A rider who was not sure she would even start makes her way round the final turn. What a warrior on the pavé of Paris-Roubaix. Pauline prevails on the pavé. Ferrand-Prévot wins Paris-Roubaix Femmes avec ZWIFT.
So what an incredible debut win on the Paris-Roubaix for Ferrand-Prévot, who will now set her sights on the Tour de France. After a brilliant start to her 2025 season on the road, few would bet against the Visma Lease bike rider, adding more famous wins to her already lengthy list of major honours. Not bad for someone who said she wasn't even at her best on the day.
J'arrive pas trop à réaliser pour le moment.
It hasn't really sunk in yet. I just want to see my team and my teammates to thank them for what they've done for me. I felt ill for the last 2 days and I wasn't sure to start this morning. We just said that we'd see how it goes and that I'd give my best for Marianne. In the end, I managed to survive the cobbles and I attacked on the road, and behind me, I think they struggled to organise themselves. I don't know what to say right now, but I'm going to enjoy this victory. So this is how the 2025 Women's Paris-Roubaix panned out. Ferrand-Prévot delighting the local fans with the first French win in the iconic race since Frédéric Guédon in 1997. Borghese of the EAF Education Oatly team taking second, the Italian adding a significant line to her list of honours, and Wiebes in third with Vos fourth and Jackson fifth. Second last year, Elisa Balsamo could only claim ninth this time round. So what a return to the road for Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, and what a start to her season that promises so much. And no doubt she'll be back next year to defend her title on the Hell of the North.
Paris-Roubaix.